इतना सा फर्क है एक बार सोच के छोड़ देने में और लग के कर दिखाने में। मान लेने में कि जिंदगी ऐसे ही कटेगी और सुबह 4 बजे उठ के सोचने में कि अभी तो बस शुरुआत है। किसी मैगजीन को हाथ में लेने में और उसी मैगजीन के कवर पेज पे होने में इतना सा ही तो फर्क है। वीआईपी सीट में और उसकी पिछली सीट में इतना सा ही तो फर्क है। वो जिसका मैदान ही खुला आसमान है वही कल जमीन पर तो था। पूछोगे तो बताएगा वो पंछी कि एक दायरे में सिमटने में और पूरी दुनिया को दायरा बनाने में बस इतना सा फर्क है। इतना कितना है? इतना है या इतना है? जो नापेगा वो जाने कि जहां धरती और आसमान मिलते हैं, नानकुर से दूर, अगर मगर शायद से दूर, वहां भी दोनों में फर्क बस इतना सा है। धरती और 7वें आसमान में फर्क बस इतना सा। ये एक अंतर प्रेरणा है। ये हमारी, आपकी, हम सब की अंतर प्रेरणा है। एक कदम, एक छलांग, एक बाजी, एक गहरी सांस और एक ललकार खुली हवाओं में कि हाँ मैं बना हूं उन फिजाओं के लिए, कि हाँ मैं बना हूं उन ऊंचाइयों के लिए जो ऊंची तो बहुत है पर नामुमकिन भी नहीं, क्योंकि मुमकिन और नामुमकिन में बस इतना सा फर्क है। धूप छांव में फर्क बस इतना सा। तो बस चलिए फ्रेंचाइज इंडिया के साथ ये फर्क मिटा देते हैं। फ्रेंचाइज इंडिया, 20 years of ideas.
A very good afternoon to everyone and warm welcome to Business Opportunity with Chai webinar series. This is a digital representation of the business and the franchise options we are launching today through this platform. We have divided this particular session into 2 parts. First, we'll start with the presentation where we will try to give you the correct and the complete understanding about brand offering. Then we'll move towards a panel discussion. During our panel discussion, have to take all your queries. There is a question and answer box and we request each one of you to share your queries in the same. We welcome management team of Franchise India, Gaurav sir and Sonia ma'am, both as a team leading the webinar and will be hosting this particular webinar. And the business opportunity which we are launching today is Makebot Kidz. It's India's first ever smart preschool. Makebot Kidz offers futuristic experimental learning to over 1,200 plus schools with over 5 lakhs children in India. But to talk about the business opportunity, how you can become a partner with them and what is their vision, now I will invite Mr. Amit, who's a founder at Makebot, to take it further. Thank you so much, Amit Vermaji, for joining. We are ready for your presentation and look forward to have a great interactive session with you.
Hey, hi. Thank you, Archana. Thanks, everyone. My name is Amit. Let me just pull my video so that you all can see me. Hi, everyone. And it's we are very excited to have you all here. Thank you for coming in. Though it's a Zoom presentation, it's not going to take much time. But yes, you are going to spend the next 1 hour with us. So thank you for that time. You're going to be here looking at this opportunity, work with us, and I would like to thank the Franchise India team for setting this up. You guys are doing a fantastic job in doing the connections. So without taking much time, I'm going to start this presentation. So like Archana mentioned, so we have just launched this brand under Makebot, which is Makebot Kidz. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Makebot. We are a 5-year-old organization, and I come from a technology domain. I work with companies like Accenture and Microsoft in my previous terms before getting into the entrepreneurship mode. And this is a very exciting opportunity which we want to bring into this industry of preschools, and let's see how the industry is going to take this up, especially in the post-COVID scenario. So we are very excited about the entire thing. So let me just quickly take you all through what we are going to share in this presentation. So we are going to talk about the brand a little. We are going to share what offerings we are going to bring in with our smart preschool category. We will also touch upon the market, and then we'll take a little more detailed version of our franchise model. So you're talking about us. Like I said, we started off in 2017. Makebot is a new age smart preschool brand which we've launched called Makebot Kidz. As Makebot organization, we focus on STEAM education. STEAM is your science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics, where we bring in experiential learning to starting from a 2-year-old to an 18-year-old. And the entire thought process when I started off with Makebot was that how you can bring in the methodology in learning by doing things, because when we learn, it get acquired as a knowledge, but knowledge is always replaceable. But when you acquire a skill, it always stays with you throughout the life. And I give examples like how you learn swimming, how you learn cycling, how you learn any other activity, which is a skill-based learning. And even if you lose out on the knowledge, the skills always remains with you. And that's where we want to now focus on building 21st century skills. I'm sure people who are from education domain, they must be aware about 21st century skills, your collaboration, communication, critical thinking, and creativity. So how we are going to do that, but before touching on that part, I just want to talk about a little more about Makebot. So we are a Times of India backed company. We have our investors, which is Global Space Technologies. It's a listed company on Bombay Stock Exchange. In the last 5 years, we are able to touch upon 1,200 plus schools. We have all the major brands with us today, like Podar, Singhania, WebCure, Euro, as our some of the customers. And we touch upon close to around 5 lakh students who take our coding, robotics, STEAM programs with us through their schools and as the individuals. So now before going further in the STEAM and the Makebot Kidz brand, I want to share one video with you, which is going to give you a glimpse of what I'm going to talk about. So this is a kind of a experience zone what we have created in one of our schools, which is the Podar International School in Mumbai. And here we bring in a lot of new age learning gadgets, equipments, and we've created this experience zone backed by a very smart curriculum. And that's how we've spent our last 5 years in the industry. And what we are going to do next after this is we are going to talk about something which is where we are launching India's first smart preschool brand, and we call it as Makebot Kidz, Smart Preschool and Activity Center. So the ideology behind this particular concept is to present a unique and new learning experience for our preschool students, where we will help them to develop the skills of the future and just to make them more relevant in the coming times. Like I said, we have spent a lot of time with schools, and we have started these programs from a 4-year-old to an 18-year-old. But these 2 years of our, I would say, pre-primary, which we missed out, we want to bring in those elements also into this model. And we have worked with some preschool chain in the past where we created these programs for them and run these programs on their behalf. But then we realized that if we really have to make an impact in the early age, that's where we have to think about a new, unique experience which we can give to these early age educator students who are going to take this up in their daily life, and somewhere if we can create a correlation with these students. So hence we've started working on this program, and we call it as our smart preschool, which has these four pillars which are there with us. So one is about our curriculum. Then we have our specialized trainers. They are not just the pre-primary or early age trainers. They are also equipped with a lot of technology learning with them. And then we bring in a lot of hands-on activities using our equipments, which in form of say smart collaboration touchscreen tables. We bring in robots. We bring in a lot of other gadgets which you are going to see and experience during the presentation. And we then talk about a very smart, highly optimized business model. So going further into this, the typical question is that we have like so many other preschools, and yet there is another brand who's going to come in, and what is a differentiator? Because there are very biggies who stands in the preschool market for the last 20 years, and they're doing so many other things, and they have so many preschools, and there may be people who have already have these kind of preschools. So how we are going to set ourselves apart from this? So I just want to highlight this. Like I'd shown the kind of a video. I'm not sure how many of you have actually experienced the new age learning using robotics. How many of you have actually seen an AI machine which can work as an educator with a child? They are always going to be the tools. We are not talking about replacing the teachers. We are not going to talk about that the delivery is going to happen with the robots, but they are always going to act like a tool. When I was in school, my tools used to be like the charts or the flip charts or various models which doesn't work. You have to just imagine that how they are going to work. If I'm seeing a volcano kind of a structure in my school, I will always imagine that the volcano might erupt something like this, or unless I come across a video. Now the generation is purely on the video based learning. So everybody, all kids, they go back to YouTube, they watch these videos and they learn from it. What we are going to do in here, and what really makes us different, is apart from just videos or the traditional curriculum, that the children who are going to come into this kind of a preschool, they're also going to experience a lot of things. They're going to experience what learning is going to be. They are going to experience how the futuristic skills can be developed using technology. And that's where we come in. We are going to give them an experience and hands-on experience to acquire skills. And that really sets us apart. We're not saying that you can't do it using clays, you can't do it using, say, colors, or there are many things you can use it for the hands-on activities or DIY, etc. But what we are trying to bring in here is that suppose I bring a sensor table, which is going to teach them how the color combination can be created, how you're going to build very small projects, which is, say, a plant watering device, where it is going to help my plants to water every day without me getting into the action. So these are some of the things or the experiments which we are going to bring in. When we talk about our curriculum, it's going to touch upon all the elements of life, bringing in the physical, the social development, of course, the cognitive development of the child, because that's the time the mind is very fertile, and the way the kids are going to adapt knowledge and skills is phenomenal. And of course, it is going to have a lot of art perspective. The creativity factor is going to be phenomenally explored in this curriculum. Since this curriculum is going to be based on the Cambridge and which is a CIE curriculum and the Indian boards. So wherever the kids want to pursue their further learning, whether they want to go to an international school or they want to go to a Indian school, they can absolutely take that up going forward. Moving into what exactly are we talking here is, like I said, and you can look at it in the picture. So when we are doing the collaboration activity, when we are doing the learning inside the school, the pedagogy is going to be around skill development, like I said, and we are going to bring in experiential learning, not just using the standard methods, but yes, bringing in very futuristic technologies, including, say, robotics. We'll bring in the sensors, we'll bring in IoT, we'll bring in things which kids don't see usually anywhere else. So the idea of building this kind of an experience center is to give students a kind of an opportunity where they can come and see things which they cannot find anywhere else. So today, like an example, so today when they are at home, most of the kids spend time with their toys or on TV. Whereas when they go to school, they spend a lot of time either watching videos, where the learning in my smart school classes, the learning is happening on videos. And otherwise, they are also referring to some books or their iPads. Nowhere they are getting exposed to things where they can actually create something. And that's where we want to bring in a thought process with the students as well as parents, that how we can bring in the element of creation, or the creativity can be explored, where these kids can, when say a 2-year-old or a 3-year-old walking into a room and they see some pieces around, what if they can start building it together? It's like a Lego, but it's like a Lego in action. And that's where we come in and we share these ideas with them. It will start from, like, say, creating an aeroplane going up to the drones. And that's what the kind of an experience we want to bring in for the kids. And here I'm going to show you a quick video around how kids do it. These are my primary students, so how they are going to use it. So it's a short video. I'll play it again. So when you look at the learning process here, you can understand it's the same rainbow theory which we are talking here. All the 7 colors. There is a cloud. There is a colors. There is a sound. But the learning process changes. I'm not just limiting rainbow towards the 7 colors, but how these colors comes together. How you can actually create a rainbow out of this. So that's where we want to bring in the element of experiential learning into our programs. We can also give you more ideas around this, but going next in the environment, when we talk about the overall learning process, we also want to do or touch upon something for our 8 to 18 years. This is a new age technology learning where we also talk about coding, robotics, artificial intelligence, machine learning, Internet of Things, and various certification programs. Now, you must be wondering, suddenly from a preschool position, I started talking about 8 to 18 years. And that's where we want to optimize your center, which is going to bring in this experiential and the new age learning, where if I can also establish an activity center. So that's why we call Makebot Kidz as a smart preschool and an activity center. So what is going to happen here is that when we talk about our offering, it's like you have a preschool which is there during the day and an activity center which is during the evening. Because what happens typically is the preschool working hours stays till around 3-ish or 4-ish in the day. And after that, either you switch over to a daycare center, where we right now we don't want to get into. And that's where we want to bring in or cater to the larger audience of our 8 to 18 years who already are aware about these programs or who want to learn these programs, thanks to the brands who promote coding so much. But the coding is also going to become the next maths, what we understand and how things are going to go further. So when I talk about the optimizing the center, it's like the same technology or the STEAM trainers who are going to be stationed at the preschool can be able to take up the activity centers in the evening. So your same set of manpower is going to be optimized during the day, as well as these programs can also run on the weekday and the weekend programs. So that's where we bring in the model where we have a preschool, we have activity centers, and we have club activities. I've put in some fee structure just for an ideation purpose, but typically this is to showcase the audience that you're not limiting your audience to only 2 to 6 years, but you are actually going from 2 to 18 years in this category. So that's where we come and we present this highly optimized business model where we want to give an experience which will definitely make the children fall in love with their space. This is a basic layout which we recommend, which has some smart tables. It has a lot of walking open space. It has a drone area. It has your AV and space tech rooms. So there will be a lot of things which will be there in the preschool, and same thing is going to be come out in the optimized manner in the evening as a part of your activity classes. So these collapsible stations will open up, and there your 8 to 18-year audience will come in and they'll do their learning process inside the room. So that's how we look at optimizing the entire model. And our mission and vision statement talks about that. When we started off, we want to go with a model where we want to educate and engage the students, but then we realize that what is the outcome which you are going to drive out of this? When I look at this particular concept, what is something I want children to do? And that's where we want them to empower with whatever knowledge which we can provide, inform and experiential learning, where they can go out and create and become creators of tomorrow. We don't just want them to use technology, consume it like how our generation has done it. So it's like India is known for consumer population, that any new product you launch, we just simply go grab and start using it. We don't spend our time in creating this thing, but that time has changed now, and people have started moving into that. What is something I can create, I can promote, or I can produce, where this is going to be kind of a new age futuristic. And this is what our mission statement is. Our vision is to bring in a kind of a single platform for the students, where whatever new age thinking, learning processes, knowledge based skill sets which we can bring in, we can introduce these particular things to the child. And moving into the market positioning which we want to create is that we want to bring a kind of a new age smart preschool which offers a premium futuristic learning experience. So when you look at the today preschool, so we had this opportunity with us, whether we want to be a kind of a Me Too brand where we spend a lot of money using the Times of India backing and create a kind of another Me Too brand in the preschool business. But there we realized that there's an opportunity which today exists, where if I ask you what is the most premium preschool brand comes to your mind, and I get a lot of mixed answers because there are few players who has already created this kind of an experience, but they were never able to scale it up. So if you pick up specific cities, you find very good preschools, very premium preschools, but they're not part of a brand. They are the individual preschools yet. So that's where we want to take that positioning, that how can we become a one single stop shop of a smart preschool, which offers a very premium and futuristic learning experience. And going forward into this, we want to tap on what the market and competition post-COVID looks like. So today we have a presence of around 26,000 preschools. I'm sure you all know about this. The market is going to grow crazily in the next 5 years. And that's where this is going to add another, say, 42,000 crore in the market with a 12% CAGR. Any double digit CAGR is going to be highly competitive, highly optimized. And that's how the business model is going to go in. Some of the facts, I'm sure a lot of people already know about this, but I'm just still touching upon some of the key elements. That during COVID, there was a study that 70% preschools got shut, and a lot of the other schools switched over to the online learning. Now, there is a huge void which is created. I was talking to somebody yesterday, and they were like, last year we prepared our preschool in March, but in April we again have to close down, and all our teachers have moved out, and we are just starting from scratch. And that's where the opportunity comes in, that if you're starting or looking at to start now, why don't you want to bring in something which is a new age? And that's where there is a huge gap. I want to show that number to you between the demand and supply. And we are today looking at least 15 lakh preschools to come in to meet the current requirement. That means there is a huge market which is going to come up and talk about the acceptance of preschools. But yes, we have to work towards whether we want to get what kind of a level of experience we want to get into. So now coming back to my franchise model. So this is going to be a little interesting if you guys want to understand a little more detail. So we are talking here about a unit franchise where there is an opportunity to run a smart preschool in the daytime, and then there is an activity center during the evening. Both Smart Preschool and Activity Center has models with the weekday and weekend programs where we are going to optimize students who want to come into this program with a mindset that suppose they are going to another school, or I have my junior KG, senior KG students who are already enrolled into a larger school, but they still want to come and experience a different level of learning. And that's where you have your weekend programs, which is going to give you an add-on student requirement. And this is where we'll be also doing a lot of summer and winter camps, very short duration program. This is largely our branding activities where you want to give a experience of the lifetime to all these kids in those 8-10 days timelines. So this is the operation model. When we go for an ideal profile, when you look at the bandwidth and the capabilities, we are looking at a kind of a moderate financial bandwidth, because here we want somebody to come with a very, or I would say an exceptional operational capabilities into the business. We are going to run, we are going to give you everything from start to end, what is required to run this program, from recruitment of trainers or manpower to the things which are going to be used in the center. But we want somebody to have an exceptional capabilities, and that is the reason we are looking for people who are very passionate about early age education. And typically we are looking at people who want to start off a new business. If you have a space around your societies, if you have a shop which is owned or rented under or around your society, those people can also come in. If you're having existing preschool and looking for an upgrade, so there we can also pitch in. The women entrepreneurs, teachers, and corporate employees who want to get into early education business with a new age concept, they are also welcome into the business. And here we want to talk about the model. So we can have a little more detailed discussion on this as well. But the typical point which we want to highlight here is that this is a franchise owned and franchise operated model. We are going to bring in or set all the guidelines, SOPs, everything is going to be done from our side, and you'll be receiving a net profit out of the overall revenue there. And we'll be taking some royalty fee out of the business. How and what it is going to be, I'll share this in this slide. So we are typically looking at the metro cities, the state capitals, and the tier 1 cities. At this point of time, we don't want to get into the tier 2 cities here, and we want to focus only towards the tier 1 state capitals and metros. Preferably, we are looking for a ground floor in a very in a high population density area. Typically societies, maybe some office complexes also. Our minimum area requirement is 1500 square feet, and the manpower requirement is going to be somewhere close to around 12 to 13 people. The number of people they are so high because we are working in the multiple shifts. It's going to be a 7-day model, and that's where we are going to have a financial model where we have a franchise fee of 5 lakh rupees. We are going to charge the royalty on the revenue, and then the total investment is going to be somewhere around 20 lakhs, which we've estimated for a 1500 square feet area. That includes your setup, equipments, infrastructure, everything all inclusive. So we'll take the bare shell from you, and we are going to set it up for you. The overall ROI which we are looking at is around 108% around second year. I'll share more details around the financials in the financial model. And we are expecting the income may start somewhere around first year in the 11th month. in the second year 11th month. So some of the roles and responsibilities which we are going to do as the company and the franchise. So like I said, the entire operations is going to be with the franchise. The entire SOPs, training, everything from start to end is going to be from the company. We are going to set this up for you, and we will be responsible for the entire brand creation and the national level marketing. The regional level marketing has to be with the franchise. We are going to pass on all the leads, which is going to come to on a centralized process, and the entire model is going to be where the training of the staff, the recruitment process assistance is also going to be from our side. Okay, and here a quick support which we are going to extend on the pre and the post opening scenario. So we will be helping you up with the site selection, the setup model, the assistance in the recruitment and the staff training. And once we do the launch, so the entire curriculum, the CRM activation, the supply chain, everything is going to be managed by us right there. So we can have a little more discussion once we sit on a one basis. We can share more details around this process. So the enrollment process is very simple. Once we do the partner profile shortlisting, and we'll give you a brief about the financial plan. Once we finalize the financial plan with you, we'll request for the submission of franchise fee, which is 5 lakh and plus GST. And then we will go for the site inspection, and we'll do and close on the agreements. This is all going to take estimated of around 45 to 60 working days, starting from the date of sign off, where we will start working parallel things, including the site work, the manpower hiring and training, and together we will be doing the launch. So this is how we look at our goals in the next 6 to 12 months. Our idea is to get our first 50 franchise in the next 3 months. We'll be using this particular channel to create a brand setup where we are expecting around 75,000 plus customer success stories with a brand in the next 1 year, which will happen with our 50 franchisees. And then we want to emerge as one of the most innovative preschool brand in India. And we want to take that positioning of a very premium, futuristic preschool brand in India, which has started off with a category of a smart preschool. And then over a period of time, we want to build our trust with our parents and our partners in this futuristic preschool brand. So this is how our goals are aligned, and we want to align our goals with you. So I think that's it from my side on the presentation. I would in case you have any queries so far on the model, etc. This is our website. You can have a look at the website here, and that's where I'll do my submission on the presentation. Do let me know if you have any questions, queries on the idea on the deck. We can take it up now. Over to you, Archana.
Thank you so much, Amit and friends. Thank you for being with us. But if we can have this presentation removed. Thank you. Friends, I'll request all of you, if you have any questions that you want to ask on the business model, and in fact, the cities that you're keen, if you already have an infrastructure that can complement a business model like this, please use the Q&A box and we'll take all your queries with Amit. And Amit, thank you once again for putting this wonderful presentation to all our investors. And just a quick recap, friends, on the opportunity. And also, Amit, comes with nearly 2 decades of experience. He has been working with tech companies and companies like Microsoft, consulting companies like Accenture, all his life before he started his enterprise. And I'm very happy to see, what he has done in the last couple of years. And he brings in a lot of his rich knowledge, experience to the business. They have been operating, running their equity centers, and they're ready now to partner with like-minded people, who share the same values as Amit's. So, and a couple of things, friends, I'll also add, if you look at any investment opportunity, especially when I talk from the investment or the investor, point of view, apart from the investment, there are many things which an investor has as his, top mind share when he looks at any business. And the first thing which comes to his mind is the credibility of the company they're partnering with, the legacy, and also equally the commitment of the company. And I feel it's a good combination of all of these features. The company is also listed on the Bombay Stock Exchange. It is backed by none other than the biggest media house of the country, which also lends a very big credibility to the business, to the model, corporate governance. And they also have been conducting some international STEAM Olympiad virtually in more than 30 countries across the globe, with more than 130 odd partners, which they currently have. And the second thing which I really liked, it is not just a preschool opportunity. And we have seen many schools, preschools coming up and functioning, many of them even shut down last 2 years. We have seen how businesses which does not have a technological edge or innovation in their businesses could not even survive these 2 years. And today businesses are moving to a very new logic, and disruption, tech change requires capabilities, dynamic capabilities like agility, reinvention, and these have today become table stakes for any company to sustain. And all that is something which is incorporated in the business model. So unlike the other preschools that you see, and I'm very I was, while I was just going through that, I liked the long business hours, and many people, find it very difficult to sustain a preschool because it works on maybe the first half of the day, starts late, it works till about 1 o'clock, and you have the entire 6-7 hours, which is the balance part of the day. You end up paying rent for that infrastructure for the entire month, but it is underutilized. So the business has long working hours, unlike many other preschools, I would say, in the category, which does not have this classes, or I would say, the infrastructure which can be maximized. And equally for the weekends, where you have extra classes which can also be utilized over the weekend. The business or education is also different than what we're doing or seeing in preschools, and school education is going through a very big paradigm shift with STEAM education coming in. And this is basically an experiential form of learning, which we just saw in the presentation, and focused towards building skills in children, and focused on skill-based education, so to say. And it includes science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics. So this is the concept, friends, that we have for Makebot. I'll request all of you, if any questions that you want to take up very specifically for your cities, please go ahead and ask. And to start off with, I'll take some questions from you, Amit, and I do see some of our investors also putting in. So we have both live investors, and we also have people on the webinar who have come. So Amit, while this is something which is very interesting, I'll like to maybe pick your mind on the industry overall. And if you can give your understanding, how the last 2 years have been. And if you look at the overall competition that we have today, where do you see yourself positioned vis-a-vis the competition in the industry, or I would say the market that we want to be in at large?
Yeah, I would say the education has actually got a ripple effect, and nobody expected that education can work online. And I'm sure we all have experienced this at our home. That has really resulted in a phenomenal acceptance towards online learning. But what parents have realized in the last 2 years is that the online education just in silo cannot work. And that require a heavy experiential learning, at least some form of a touch and feel with and socializing skills which are required. Especially in the preschool business, I would say they've suffered the most, because they are the only one who can't go to online facts. And there were also challenges with the parents where they didn't realize the value of early age learning. So I think that has really created a lot of challenges with the preschool industry. But like I said, when you are going back to normal, that's the first thing which is going to bounce back in a phenomenal or in an exponential way. And we can see that with the number of advertisements coming now with the preschool admissions and things, because when parents have to start moving out to schools, back to their offices, they are also looking at this particular education space as well. And this is how the way we have seen the decline, the exponentially they are going to come back. So that's where the preschool business is the first one, even go more it'll go faster than the traditional schools. So that's what we see as an organization. Like I said, the online education really worked for us during the 2 years. We have switched over to completely online. We were doing the education, the experiential form of learning. throughout the last 2 years. So it didn't impacted us much. I think there is already a question we have.
I'll take
So
that, but we'll take questions, and I'll also club some questions that would interest the audience, and little bit on the maybe the business model, operating structure. I'd like to take some questions, and maybe I'll also add, if you look at the the biggest challenge today, which is involved in the implementation of the STEAM education, and this challenge is to design the infrastructure, curriculum, and investment in the infrastructure primarily by schools. While this need is one of the integral part for any school curriculum, but unfortunately in India we don't have that available for our kids. And friends, this is the gap which Makebot is actually filling in the market. So coming on the business and the financials, we talked about an infrastructure requirement of, I think that's 1,500 square feet is what we need with an investment of 20 odd lakhs. And is 5 lakhs additional part of the investment, or that's something which is included in 20 lakhs?
That's the additional part of the investment. The other 20 is also going to be a dynamic investment or a variable investment, where first we have to look at the space, and based on that, that's a rough estimation in terms of how the floor design is going to look like, and then the final costing is going to come. So we have kept everything a little on a higher side. That's where the entire investment is not going to go beyond that amount.
Sure. But are you there in one of your centers? Because I see the picture of one of the classes. Is that one of the centers of yours, or that's a?
That's just
Okay.
my.
All right. I thought if we are at one of the centers, we could even do a virtual tour. And I'll request friends, if you want to do that, we can arrange that on the discovery day here that we are keeping. So with now coming, to the business performance, and maybe, I want to maybe, pick your mind on, how the business dynamics, work out in a preschool market. And this is unlike many other industries. If you talk about retail, food, these businesses work very, very differently. And preschool and a business of education is more return on time, where, and that's what even Amit pointed out, where you need to have a lot of your time that you need to invest in the business, because operationally, comparatively, if you look at other businesses, this is comparatively, heavier on your time involvement. So we need people who can put that kind of time in the business. And this is a whole time. This is not, a couple of hours in the day, but a full-fledged, but but now understanding the economics, typically if you look at your working capital requirement, the expenses for a preschool, and also typically if you look at we have talked about coding, we've talked about day, weekend, and many other activities that we have all put together. If you wish to segregate that and say typically if you need to run that activity, how many children do we need to make it optimal for that center to be run? Typically how many students ideally for an activity center, if that can be something that we understand, and how long does it take for a center to put all that and get running?
Sure. So we have a complete business model, the financial business model with us, and if you want, I can share it across where we can have a quick discussion around it, if that is okay.
Sure, we can do
that. Just one second. So do let me know here when you will be able to see my screen.
Yeah, we can now.
Okay. So when we talk about the financial setup, we are looking at a 1,500, 1,600 kind of a square feet area, and this is where the estimation is going to come in as a part of the initial investment. We are looking at three major costs. One is the infrastructure cost, which will require your interiors, the furniture, and the branding. The cost towards the training and the launch marketing. Then we have the second element, which are our equipments, which are going to be used in the setup. These are like your large touch screen tables, your drone setup, your robotics, your AI, all these machines which are going to come in as a part of the equipment. The third are the basic license cost, which is going to be coming in for the software, and the fourth is going to be the franchise fee. So when we go to a particular revenue model, like you asked about how many students and what are the kind of structure it is going to have. So here we are defining the model into two parts. One is my preschool model, which is where we are keeping an estimation in terms of a tier 1 or a metro kind of a fee structure, which is going to be around 75,000. Typically, the average fee in metro or these centers are around 90,000. So in the first year, we want to go a little aggressive in the market with our fee structure, and that's where we filed 75,000 as an ideal fee. And then for a weekend classes, this is going to be a 35,000 because it's only a 2-day in a week. Then we have our activity model, which is going to be an evening model where we are expecting an annual program on post-school timings, starting from 4 o'clock or between 4 o'clock to 8 o'clock, around 35,000. And then there is a weekend program, which is again an annual program for a 25,000. And then we have some short-term programs there. So we are expecting 2 large classrooms, which can accommodate around 25 students in the classroom. And that is going to give us a maximum capacity of 150 enrollments in both the programs. I'm talking about only preschool right now. And here there is a total estimation of 1.65 crores of the revenue, which is the maximum capacity. If I'm going to run my preschool, this is what the revenue I can expect out of my center. When we are looking at the first year and the estimation over the 5-year time, we believe that we can get at least 72 students because the average student count today in the preschool post-COVID is somewhere between 75 to 100. So we are taking a lower count here so that we'll be more realistic with our numbers. And that's where if we go with a 48% capacity in our center or in the preschool format, we're going to clock a revenue of around 54 lakhs in the first year. And when I add my weekend program on top of it, it is going to add another 14 lakh of a revenue. So my total revenue in the first year of my preschool with 48% capacity is going to be around 68 lakhs. So this is where my revenue from the preschool comes in. Now, that's how we have put in an advantage with the activity center that say, imagine I'm not going very aggressive with my activity center program, and the first year I don't get a single enrollment. But there could be a possibility of getting some enrollments over the weekend programs because these bigger kids may get some time during Saturdays and Sundays, and that's where I may get 15 enrollments during the year. And that will result into an overall revenue of around 3.3 lakhs. So when I combine both my preschool and activity center revenue, I'm going to come across a figure of around 71 lakhs. So this is my total revenue, which I'm looking at in the first year. Whereas when I'm going to look at all my other expenses, including my royalty, my employee cost, rentals, marketing, other utility, I'm going to do a beta positive in the first year with around 70,000 in the 70,000 per month with a total EBITDA positive of around 8 lakhs. So I'm going to be operationally positive in the first year itself. So that means whatever operational requirement you will have for running the center is going to be covered in the first year itself. So it's like you are earning and you are managing your OPEX from the revenue itself. You don't need not to put any further money in the operational expenses. And this is, again, I'm repeating, is for a capacity count of 48%, which is way below the average capacity count of the preschools today. Post-COVID, I'm saying.
Absolutely. And you also have a lot of rollover business from the first year to the second year.
Yes. And that's where when we look at the overall income, this can grow up to say around 1.1 CR by the fifth year, where I'm still doing a year-on-year business at 12% at the max, where my revenue, if I look at the maximum capacity in the preschool is not going to go beyond 80%. So that's my fifth year projections.
That's very elaborate. And friends, I'll request all of you who need to maybe go through this, or you want us to take that one-on-one, we can even do that. And if you look at the times that we currently are in and look at the overall market supply, also supply of preschools have reduced, while the demand is growing. And it's a big challenge for unorganized next door schools because they lack, development of effective curriculum, and which is not even researched well and well designed. Second, I would also say because of the last 2 years, many such chains which are unorganized or not able to sustain, have shut down. So we have a lot of good infrastructure today, which is available. Hence, your, entry barrier is comparatively low. Third, which I would also say with a credible company like Makebot, your cost of sales and marketing is also, comparatively low, which micro chains or unorganized, preschools, they cannot manage because of their limited resources, and they're also unable to attract students in absence of, viability, so to say, of the overall business format, which becomes a very big issue. So they have a strong brand equity. They come with many years of experience, which I would say can be unparalleled to any other player in the same category, and also very big credible ecosystem where they are assisting in knowledge sharing, high quality of education platform they bring to the end users. So last thing, Hamid, which I'll ask you is, on the talent, and talent, is a very big focus for any education company. What would be your support on the same, including the training of the teachers, and maybe training of the franchise partners which come on board? And if you also want to comment on the profile of your partners, is there a specific profile of people that you're looking at, or are we looking at people from across sections?
See, like I said and explained during the presentation, so we are looking at horizontally anybody who's willing to get into this new brand wagon and want us to help us to create this kind of category in preschool, which is a smart preschool in itself. Uh, uh, if you have a good operational expertise in managing a center, that will always be an added advantage. But otherwise, we would welcome partners from all across the segments and the industries. About the talent part, we are going to work with the partners in a very close-knit environment where our expertise is to bring in the technology-based or the STEAM education space or get people into the STEAM education space. And that's where we would like to go with a combination of traditional teachers who come with a very strong pre-primary education background where they know how to handle kids. Whereas we are going to mix it up the bag with our STEAM trainers who are going to take up all the heavy lifting on the technology side. So when we recommend 6 trainers or a pool of 6 trainers, it's going to work in a combination of 2 early age teachers with 1 STEAM trainer. And we expect during the course of 1 year, 2 years, the early age teachers are also going to see how they are upgrading themselves in the new age environment, in the new age teaching. And we want to give them that time. So we are not expecting everybody to start learning technology on the day one itself and practicing it. But yes, gradually it will happen. So that's where the combination of the experienced versus new age is going to work with us in this segment.
Definitely. I'll also take this question because you talked about formats from an activity center to a preschool. I have a question from Ms. Deepika from Vizag, and she says she's keen to look at this. Her husband is already in a business. So the question she said she wanted to ask is, is there a possibility of taking only the smart preschool part of the business? And if yes, how does that work?
See, that's a typical kind of a model which is anyways there in the preschool. But we would highly recommend to take up the activity center because, like you said, you're already paying a rent which is going to be on a monthly basis for 24 hours. If you're not optimizing your center fully, it is going to hit on your bottom line and on your revenue. So that is the reason we are going to empower your center, your people. We are going to assist you in hiring people. You just have to manage the center, the operationally. Rest everything is going to be taken by us. We are going to help you in training this manpower who are going to be running your activity center. You need not to do a very active branding for the activity center because it is we believe that this is going to go a word of mouth because especially I can see that she's coming in from the south part of India, which is again very pro in terms of adapting new technology, learning, education is very prominent in that region. So that's where we highly recommend to take it up. But yes, of course, you have an option to do only preschool.
Absolutely. And friends, I would request if you have any questions that you want to discuss, we are planning a discovery day in the coming week and we like to have maybe 1-to-1 discussion over call or maybe virtually that we can do with everybody who's looking at. And all of you who want to maybe do a tour, it can be both physical tour. If you want to do that, we'll facilitate that for you. And we can even arrange maybe a virtual tour so that you understand the facilities and the business concept and the format, so to say. And before we close, Amit, I'll request if there's a message that you want to give to the entire audience listening live and on the webinar.
So I really appreciate the time of everyone. Thank you for joining in today. And we are very excited about this brand. And the reason for this is that we are doing something new age. We are doing something which has never done before. It's a concept which you may not have heard before of a smart preschool. We are going to live to the word smart here with all our offerings, with all our equipment, things which we are going to bring in. And definitely you're going to see the change in the preschool industry in the coming years. So thank you very much for your time. And we wish you a very healthy coming year, and stay safe and best of luck in whatever you're doing. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, and very interesting. And friends, I'll also say, quality STEAM education is a very big opportunity case for India, where actually we want our children to leap, from users of technology to being innovators. And India has the largest need and also the potential for STEAM learning, being a tech developing, country like India. So with this, I'll request Ashna if you can kindly take over for your closing remarks. And if we can, 19th March is Friends at Discovery Day that we have kept. And in case you are available, maybe even before that, you can reach out to us, and we'll definitely block a slot with Mr. Amit Verma. Thank you so much, Amit, again for being with us.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Sonia ma'am, my apologies. I written 19th. It's 10th. I'm so sorry.
Sorry, it's 10th.
It's
10th.
10th. Yeah.
Next Thursday. Rather, it's Thursday.
Yes. So my apologies. So thank you so much, Amit. Thank you so much, Sonia ma'am. Thanks all the dear participants. Please connect with us at our business hotline number, which is 97176-83838, in case you wish to book any slot to have more interaction on the business opportunity with Amit and his team. Also write to us at feedback@franchiseindia.in in case you wish to join Gaurav sir and Sonia ma'am to understand more about different business opportunity. You can join them at their LinkedIn IDs. Also share your suggestion, feedback with us at a different social handles. And on Sunday, we are inviting you to join us for Mopal. It's a brand coming from the East India, and they are presenting their business model. They are Institute of Animation and Design. They're already having 15 centers, and they want to explore business opportunity with you. So do registration with us. Registration can be done either by connecting with us at a business hotline number or visit us at the Facebook page. Thank you once again for joining in today. Have a safe day ahead. Thank you so much.
Thank you, friends.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye. Take care, Amit.